Imagine sitting down on your couch tonight. You're getting ready to watch a game. You've got your snacks. You've got your favorite team's jersey on. And you're just ready for the drama to unfold.
Oh, yeah, the best feeling. Just pure entertainment.
Exactly. And today is Friday, June 19, 2026. Which, by the way, is an absolutely massive day in the sports world.
Huge. Just an incredible lineup today.
Right. I mean, we've got World Cup Friday. We have the USA taking on Australia. We've got Brazil facing off against Haiti.
Yeah, plus a fully loaded MLB slate.
Oh, yeah, including that classic matchup, right? Cubs playing the Blue Jays at Wrigley Field. So you might just see athletes on a field trying to win a game.
Right, that's what's on the surface.
But what is happening underneath that surface is honestly an entirely different reality. There is this hidden high-speed data war happening beneath every single play.
Every gust of wind at Wrigley, every slight limp a player takes, it's all being calculated.
Yeah, and that's exactly what today's deep dive is all about. We are exploring this massive stack of sources today to uncover this information arms race.
And the sources are wild. We're looking at consumer betting platforms like Action Network, OddsTrader, Sports Insights.
Right. But also B2B data giants like Sports Data IO, medical analysis from Sports Injury Central, which is SIC, and even this completely raw, unfiltered Reddit thread from Sear Sportsbook.
Yeah, that Reddit thread really gives you the behind-the-scenes reality of the bettors themselves.
Totally. So the mission today is to figure out how do people actually find an edge when literally everyone has access to supercomputers now. And why is this multi-billion-dollar industry expanding way beyond just sports?
It really is a perfect storm right now.
Okay, let's unpack this, because you might just be watching a game, but there is a hidden matrix of data and money shifting right in front of you.
Yeah, well, when you have this kind of volume, like live events happening simultaneously, it's not just sports anymore. It's a massive financial ecosystem running on algorithms.
Right.
And the definition of what a game even is has fundamentally shifted recently. If you look at the baseline consumer level, what people are actually engaging with today, it starts with the traditional draws.
Yeah, like I saw this in the Action Network and OddsTrader materials we pulled. They were highlighting this, quote, irresistible 47-1 parlay for the USA versus Australia match.
Oh, the parlays, they are everywhere.
Right. And let me just pause here because I think people throw the word parlay around without really thinking about the underlying math.
Yeah, they really do.
Like a parlay is when you string a bunch of different bets together into one single ticket, right? So you get a massive payout if they all hit.
Exactly. But if just one single player misses a shot or, gets a yellow card, your entire ticket is instantly worthless.
Just completely up in flames.
Right, because you're multiplying your potential payout, sure,
Yeah.
but you are also exponentially multiplying the house's edge against you. We'll definitely get into the psychology of why people love those later. But that traditional stuff, the parlays, picking the World Cup Golden Boot futures, or trying to factor in the win trajectory blowing off Lake Michigan for the Cubs game.
Yeah, that's standard stuff now.
Exactly. That is just the entry point today. The ecosystem has expanded so rapidly into these broader prediction markets.
And this is the part that genuinely blew my mind. Like, we are seeing the meteoric rise of platforms like Polymarket and Kalshi.
It's fascinating to watch.
It's no longer just about whether Scotland beats Morocco on the pitch. Users are trading actual event contracts on pop culture and politics.
Pop culture, niche finance, all of it.
Yeah, it feels like Wall Street day trading has just violently collided with pop culture.
Yeah.
Like you aren't just a fan anymore. You're essentially an investor in reality.
That's a great way to put it. The scope of it is just staggering. I mean,
Right.
these markets are currently taking massive action on who will win the Grammy for Album of the Year.
Which is crazy to me.
Right. And they're pricing out whether SpaceX stock is going to experience a short squeeze.
Wait, real quick, for anyone who might not track financial jargon, a short squeeze is just this chaotic market event where investors who bet against a stock are suddenly forced to buy it back at a premium, right? Which just sends the price skyrocketing.
Exactly. So they're betting on if that specific chaotic event will happen.
Wow. And I even saw active markets on Polymarket pricing out what specific demands Trump will agree to in the U.S.-Iran deal by June 30th.
Yeah, the geopolitical markets are massive.
And hey, let me just jump in here quickly. To anyone listening, we are absolutely not endorsing any political stances here. We aren't taking sides or, predicting the outcomes of global diplomacy.
No, absolutely not. We are strictly fascinated by the underlying math of it all.
Exactly. It's just wild to see these platforms treating the nuances of international relations with the exact same cold, hard numbers as, like, a point guard's assist total.
It really is.
But that brings up a massive question for me. I mean, I understand how you price out a baseball game. There's 100 years of statistics to look at.
Sure.
But how do you mathematically price human unpredictability across such wildly different topics? Like a Grammy vote or a treaty negotiation?
Well, to understand how they price that chaos, you really have to look past the storefronts.
What do you mean?
I mean the consumer-facing sites. The Poly Markets, DraftKings, Kalshi. They are just the display windows.
Oh, okay.
The real magic, the actual pricing of all that unpredictability, happens in the B2B infrastructure.
Yeah.
The factories that are supplying the goods.
Oh, I see. So if these betting platforms are the bakeries selling the bread, someone has to be the wholesale flour supplier who doesn't care who buys the bread. They just harvest the wheat.
That is a brilliant analogy. Yes. And that brings us to the data engines. Companies like Sports Data.io.
Right, we looked into them.
Yeah, they are an award-winning B2B data provider. They aren't placing bets on the games. They are generating the millions upon millions of data points across thousands of games.
They make the math possible.
Exactly. They make it mathematically viable. They supply the live odds, feeds, real-time stats, and this massive historical data archive to sportsbooks, media broadcasts, and fantasy platforms.
Okay, let's unpack how that actually works in practice. Because raw data is literally just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Right.
How does a company take the raw data of a baseball game and turn it into a predictive model?
Well, they build architecture on top of it. A prime example from our research is the Baker Predictive Engine.
Oh, yeah, the AI tool.
Right. It's an AI tool developed to ingest all of that historical and real-time data, but it doesn't just look at past scores. It's constantly weighing thousands of variables.
Like what kind of variables?
Weather conditions, player travel fatigue, umpire tendencies, even the specific spin rate of a pitcher's curveball against a batter who historically struggles with breaking balls in high humidity environments.
That is insane. So it is running simulations. It's not just guessing who wins. It's mathematically mapping out the most probable future of every single play.
Thousands of times a second. And the speed of this generation is almost incomprehensible. There was this fascinating application of it recently. Avocados from Mexico partnered with an agency called 270B.
Wait, avocados from Mexico? Like the produce company?
Yes. They created what they called a prediction pit. It was an AI-powered second screen experience.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
So fans are sitting on their couches, and this AI is continuously updating predictions and personalized insights live, completely synchronized with the action on the football field, fueled by live data from Sports Data.io.
That is wild. But here is where I start to see a major flaw in the system.
Okay, what's that?
If every sportsbook, every major media company, and every massive syndicate has access to this Baker AI and this perfectly structured data feed,
Yeah.
aren't the bettors just buying shovels during a gold rush? I mean, if the algorithms can perfectly price out a pitcher's spin rate and the wind at Wrigley, where's the human edge? It feels like we're just throwing darts blindfolded.
That is the existential crisis of the professional bettor right there.
It has to be.
Because when the algorithms have mathematically perfected the historical data, when every past performance is instantly baked into the price you pay, you cannot beat the machine at math.
You just can't.
You can't. The only remaining inefficiency in the market, the only place where a human can find an edge, is in real time, inside information.
Meaning what?
Specifically, the unpredictable physical reality of flesh and bone. Injuries.
Oh, because the human body breaks. And an AI can't predict a pulled hamstring.
Precisely. The ultimate holy grail of the modern edge is injury information.
That makes total sense.
An algorithm can calculate exactly how a healthy star player will perform against a defense, but it cannot always account for a player hiding a sprained ankle, or how severely a subtle tweak during a Thursday practice will impact their burst of speed on Sunday.
So whoever knows about the ankle first wins.
Exactly.
We actually looked at a raw, completely unfiltered Reddit thread from a sportsbook community about this. And the lengths people go to for this information are honestly terrifying.
Oh, it's obsessive.
Totally. There seem to be two entirely different universes of approach here. First, you have the DIY retail bettor. I was reading a breakdown from a user named Quarter Kelly, And their weekly routine sounds like a full-time investigative journalism job.
Walk us through their methodology. What are they actually doing?
Okay, so they start by scraping the NFL's official website on Sunday afternoon, specifically hunting for the notable injuries column, just to catch who left games early before the media even starts talking about it.
Right, beating the news cycle.
Yeah. Then they monitor specific medical Twitter accounts for updates from sports doctors. But they aren't just looking for big names. They cross-reference the injured players with advanced PFF performance grades.
And this is a crucial distinction. They are looking for structural value, not narrative value.
Exactly. They pointed out that if a starting cornerback with an elite 70-plus coverage grade goes down, that severely damages the entire defense's architecture.
Yeah.
But if a struggling offensive lineman under a 65 grade gets hurt, the drop-off in talent to his backup might be mathematically negligible. They even check outlier.bet for RotoWire practice reports.
Wow.
Like, noting if a player isn't full practice by Friday, they likely won't play. And then they set push alerts on the backup players.
Now, why the backups? What's the mechanic there?
Because of prop bets. Like a wager on a specific player's stats, right? So you say how many yards a running back gets.
Exactly.
If Quarter Kelly gets an alert on Friday that the starting running back isn't practicing, they instantly rush to bet on the backup's prop bets before the sports books have time to update their systems and lower the odds.
That pursuit is known in the industry as chasing closing line value.
Right.
The concept is simple. You want to place your bet when the price is best. If you bet on the backup when the market still thinks the starter is playing, you get incredible odds.
And by Sunday, it changes.
Yeah. By the time the game kicks off, which is the closing line, the sportsbook will have adjusted. The odds will be terrible. If you consistently beat the closing line, mathematics dictates you will be profitable long term.
But the amount of labor involved to do that manually is staggering. Which brings us to the second approach, which I find even more fascinating.
The industrial approach.
Yes, the industrialized medical approach. There is a platform called Sports Injury Central, or SIC. And this wasn't founded by data scientists staring at spreadsheets. It was founded by former professional team doctors.
And their core premise attacks the very foundation of that DIY Reddit approach.
How so?
They operate on the assumption that professional sports teams purposely release vague, murky, or downright misleading information on their injury reports.
To hide their strategies. So that means the Reddit guy spending 5 hours a day reading practice reports is analyzing data that the teams are intentionally muddying up.
Exactly. It's a game of corporate espionage. To cut through that noise, SIC developed a proprietary algorithm called the SIC score, which grades the overall true health of a roster.
Right.
But the real mechanism of their edge is live video analysis. These former pro doctors sit and watch the live game broadcasts, and they diagnose injuries in real time based purely on biomechanics.
Explain how that translates to a betting edge. Because, I see a guy get tackled and wince, and I just say, oh, ouch, that looks bad.
Right. When you or I watch a tackle, we just see a collision. But when an orthopedic surgeon watches that same tackle, they see the specific valgus stress applied to the knee joint.
Oh, wow.
They see the exact angle the foot was planted when the torsion occurred. Before the player has even reached the locker room for an MRI, that doctor knows with high probability whether it's an ACL tear or just a mild sprain.
That is incredible.
And they immediately input that diagnosis into their SIC score algorithm, which instantly adjusts their proprietary betting line.
So they are essentially translating human biomechanics directly into a mathematical edge, before the sportsbook's AI can even catch up to the reality of the injury.
Exactly, and they claim this works. Their data states they've maintained a 56.5% win rate against the spread over 5 NFL seasons.
Which is huge. And we should clarify what against the spread means here just for a second.
Sure.
The spread is the handicap the sportsbook places on a game to make it a 50-50 proposition, right? If a team is heavily favored, they might have to win by 7 points to cover the spread.
Exactly. And winning 56.5% of the time against that mathematical handicap is monumental in an industry where, frankly, hitting 53% makes you a professional.
Right. They note that a basic bettor placing $100 on their picks would be up $5,000 over that span.
Which is an incredible return on investment.
It sounds amazing on paper.
Yeah.
But I have to bring up a hilariously painful reality check from that same Reddit comment section.
Oh, please do.
Another user replies to that massive, exhausting DIY methodology, the whole Quarter Kelly thing, and basically says, this is way too much work.
Naturally.
They pointed out that they hate spending 5 hours doing all this deep research just to go 0 and 10 on their parlays on Sunday. They'd rather do 2 minutes of research.
Yep.
And then my absolute favorite comment comes from a user who just says, I just browsed the subreddit and tail the losing picks.
That is perfect. It just perfectly captures the psychological trap of the modern market.
That was so.
We suffer from the illusion of control. Non-bettors assume that because they have access to this ocean of data, practice reports, and AI tools, they somehow have an edge.
But they don't.
No, they suffer from confirmation bias. They cherry-pick the data that supports the narrative they already believe.
So are we really just tricking ourselves into thinking we can beat the system by staring at practice reports?
For the vast majority of people, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which transitions us perfectly into the philosophy of the true professionals, the people actually moving the markets.
The sharps.
The sharps.
So if the sharps aren't just staring at medical reports or running their own AI engines, what is their mechanism? Like, how do they actually operate?
Well, they focus on market psychology rather than player statistics. A sharp understands that they aren't actually betting on the game.
What are they betting on?
They are betting on the public's emotional overreaction to the game.
Yeah, I really want to dig into this because we looked at a company called Sports Insights that pioneered this exact approach.
Yeah, they were groundbreaking for this.
They were the first to track actual betting percentages directly from the sports books. Like they track where the public's money is flowing.
Right.
And these tools are serious B2B software. I mean, they cost $149 to $249 a month, which actually compares pretty favorably to competitors like DawnBest at $499. But the entire philosophy driving this expensive software is simply betting against the public.
Yes. They are hunting for what they call contrarian plays. The software tracks phenomena like steam moves.
What's a steam move?
It's when a betting line moves violently across the entire global marketplace in a matter of seconds. And it happens because a massive influx of professional money just hit the system all at once.
Wow.
But the most important concept they track is reverse line movement.
Okay, walk me through the mechanics of reverse line movement. Because when I first read about this, it seemed completely counterintuitive to how supply and demand should work.
It is the ultimate indicator of smart money. Let's build a scenario to make it clear.
Okay.
Imagine a massive World Cup game tonight. 80% of the general public is betting heavily on Team A.
Okay, so logically, the sportsbook should adjust the odds to make Team A less attractive and Team B more attractive.
Exactly.
Because they want to balance their risks so they don't get wiped out if Team A wins. If everyone's buying apples, you raise the price of apples.
Precisely. But in a reverse line movement scenario, you look at the board and the line has actually moved in favor of Team B.
Wait, so the sportsbook is making Team A more attractive, despite 80% of the public already betting on them.
Yes.
Why on earth would the sportsbook expose themselves to that much risk? If 80% of the people are betting on Team A and the book moves the line the wrong way, they could lose a fortune.
Because sportsbooks do not care about the number of tickets. They care about the volume of money. That 80% of the public might represent 8,000 casual fans betting $10 each. But if a quiet syndicate of professional sharps drops a single $2 million wager on Team B,
Then the liability flips.
exactly. The sportsbook's actual financial liability is entirely on Team B. They move the line to reflect the money, not the crowd.
That is wild.
And Sports Insight software sends smart money alerts to tell users exactly when the house is siding with the $1 million sharp against the $10 public.
So what does this all mean? It's like being in a crowded, smoky theater.
Okay.
If a fire alarm goes off and everyone in the room instantly panics and rushes for the front door, the smart move is quietly walking out the back.
Yes.
You aren't playing the game anymore. You're playing the audience.
That is the perfect analogy. The sharps exploit predictable human emotions. Going back to our Reddit sources, there is a brilliant observation about this regarding those injury reports we discussed earlier.
Right.
When a famous starting quarterback gets injured, the novice betting public completely panics.
Oh, yeah.
The media covers it nonstop. The narrative is that the season is over and the public heavily bets against that team.
Well, yeah, because the quarterback is the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, people buy that jersey.
Exactly. But the sharp steps back and looks at the structure. They know that professional teams have coaching staffs making millions of dollars who spend their entire week adjusting the offensive scheme for a serviceable backup.
Right.
The actual damage to a team's win probability doesn't come from the star quarterback going down. As that Reddit user pointed out, the real damage comes from cluster injuries to skill positions.
Meaning what exactly? Like multiple guys going down?
Yes, meaning if a team loses their starting left tackle, their right guard, and a blocking tight end in the exact same week,
Wow.
the structural integrity of the offensive line is just gone. Now, the public doesn't care because nobody buys an offensive guard's jersey.
Right. The media isn't running breaking news segments on a tight end's sprained ankle.
But the sharp knows the quarterback, whether it's the star or the backup, simply won't have time to throw the ball. So they bet against the team with structural damage, while the public bets against the team missing its celebrity.
The public bets on flash, and the professionals bet on physics.
Exactly.
And this brings us right back to the very first thing we talked about today. That 47-1 parlay on the USA versus Australia game.
Ah, yes. The parlays.
Sports Insights explicitly warns against parlays, right?
Because the sharp understands that a parlay is an emotional product, not a mathematical one.
It's just selling hope.
It provides the illusion of a life-changing payout for a small investment. It really is the lottery ticket of the sports world.
Yeah.
Yes, you might see someone win one on social media, but mathematically, multiplying those house edges together is exactly how the sportsbooks fund the construction of their massive corporate headquarters.
That's a great point. The public buys the dream. The sharp grinds out the math.
Every single time.
So let's pull all of these threads together. To be truly well-informed in the prediction markets of 2026, it is no longer just about knowing the sport or, knowing the pop culture event you're looking at.
No, it's way beyond that.
It requires a complete synthesis of systems. You have to understand the flow of B2B artificial intelligence from places like Sports Data I/O, which are mathematically modeling reality thousands of times a second.
Right.
You have to decode hidden physical vulnerabilities in real time, relying on biomechanical analysis from former pro doctors like SIC.
Yeah.
And perhaps most importantly, you have to possess the psychological discipline to sit back, watch the herd panic over a narrative, and quietly walk out the back door of the theater.
It really is the ultimate intersection of big data, medical science, and behavioral economics.
Totally. So whether you are getting ready to trade Kalshi event contracts on who wins the Grammys, or you're just kicking back on your couch to watch the USA World Cup match tonight, you are now equipped to see the invisible matrix.
You really are.
You know about the data engines, the injury analysis, and the smart money shifting behind every single play. You aren't just watching a game anymore.
But, exploring all of this architecture leaves me with a lingering thought. Something for you to ponder long after the final whistle blows tonight.
Oh, what's that?
We are watching data giants get faster, we are watching AI engines get smarter, and medical algorithms get closer and closer to perfectly predicting human physical performance.
Yeah, the tech is just accelerating.
Right. So if we extrapolate this trend, what happens to the inherent magic of sports?
Oh, man.
If we eventually reach a point where supercomputers and biomechanical algorithms can mathematically solve a game with near-perfect certainty before the players even take the field, will we still care to watch?
Wow. If the math tells you exactly how the play ends before the ball is even snapped, the drama disappears.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder if the pursuit of the perfect prediction will eventually destroy the very thing we are trying to predict. Well, until next time, keep your eyes on the data.